Hi, happy Friday. Oh my goodness. So, there's so much going on for me these next coming days. So today I'm working all day and working on my presentation that I'm going to be giving at Karma Fest. So Karma Fest is this amazing magical event that I've never had a less than in crazy intense kismet experience. They do multiple events throughout the year, but this is like the big one. And the last time I was there, I was offered the opportunity to teach, and I'm so excited. Hi, Michelle. I'm so excited to actually be able to be a part of it instead of just being a participant, but I also get to be a participant. So it's really cool. I get to go and take classes and like soak in all this knowledge, but then also get back and teach. And I'm teaching about crystals. So I'm going to do like a little kids corner thing where I get to play with like the kids with crystals at 1 o'clock on Sunday, and then at 4:45 on Sunday I'm going to be teaching like a regular kind of like workshop class about crystals for an hour, and then after that I'm going straight to a party, and then tonight is the thanks Michelle tonight is the what I was going to originally do, the Scorpio full moon, but it didn't work out with everybody, so we're not really having a meetup, but I'm still going to celebrate it myself. And tomorrow is the actual full moon, so I'm going to talk about that a little bit. And tomorrow is my dad's birthday, and Monday I've got a photo shoot, and I just got asked to be on a panel for a body positive panel here in Baltimore, and the bubble parade is blowing up. There's like 2.6 thousand people interested in it, so there's a lot of things going on right now. So just to touch on the Scorpio full moon, it's not happening technically in 5:11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here in Baltimore tomorrow, the 18th of May. And it's Scorpio full moon, and Scorpio season is not happening right now. We're in Taurus season, but the counterpoint is Scorpio. And the if you are an awesome tier member, you get access to the cheat sheets and the journaling worksheets that I make, and there's a lot of resources in there that you can look up as to ways that you can celebrate the Scorpio full moon, and it's pretty great. I put these worksheets together for my friends that come to my moon gatherings, and there's also like journaling prompts and like crystals and apothecary that you can work with, and just like overall themes and stuff. So they're really great, literally cheat sheets of like how you can celebrate the full moon. Yeah, so if you're interested in getting a full moon reading from me, they're only $10, and if you want it, you have to get it today on Friday, because I'm going to be so busy this weekend. It's crazy. So I can't promise you that I will be able to do it in a timely way. I could probably get it to you on Monday, but like I can't promise this weekend. So if you want it, you got to do it today. And yeah, so this, yeah, just another perk of being an awesome member. Exactly. And if you have problems with the Teachable thing, like, please let me know. It should be fine with you accessing all the worksheets and stuff. But if they're being weird about it, just like, let me know and send me a screenshot of like what happens if you are having trouble with it. But you should be able to download whatever. Yeah, so, okay. But the tarot reading, the cards that I pulled are super Scorpio. A lot of Scorpio energy is about going into our deeper, darker selves. How is Scorpio moon different than Scorpio season? Okay, so they do come at different times. So basically, like, the new moon happens at during the season. So like we just had the new moon and it was Taurus, and that's during Taurus season. So whenever you have a new moon, that is during the same season. That's what's happening. Now, like, think about 6 months ago. So that would have been Scorpio season, right? So like it's the counterbalance in the year. So the full moon is like 6 months ago, and Scorpio full moon is just harnessing that's just the zodiac sign that it's in. So the full moon kind of rotates, it's going in order. So like the fact that it was just like it goes from Libra to Scorpio, and then it'll be oh God, I guess it's Sagittarius. So it's going in order, and it's basically just like rotating, but it's on an axle. So it's like it's mirroring everything. So everything's balanced. And but you can still harness the energy of a full moon on like the stuff that I say in like the 25 ways to celebrate Scorpio season, that can still be used to celebrate Scorpio moon energy on a full moon, if that makes sense. But the thing is that your bracket for celebrating is a little bit smaller, just because like the full moon only happens for so long, right? It's only full for a certain period, and then it goes back into waning. So if you only have a certain amount of time to celebrate the full moon, kind of. I mean, honestly, celebrating it whenever you can is great. The same way with unusual holidays, like whenever you can is better than none. But in terms of like actually connecting to the fullness of the moon, or like putting your crystals out and stuff and getting that energy, it's a different kind of energy. It actually matters where the moon is in terms of zodiac position. And like for the waxing, waning, crescent, balsamic, everything has a different zodiac. So when it's in the gibbous full part, like in, you know, a couple days, it'll be in a different zodiac position, if that makes sense. So the great thing about new moons, and that's the other thing that I tell people that like when they're my friends that can come to my moon gatherings, is that if they miss it, and their goodie bags like are still kind of applicable to the whole month, right? Because like when they miss a Taurus new moon and it's Taurus season, that means that they can still kind of use all these goodies, because we're still celebrating Taurus season all month long. Now we're almost out of Taurus season. We're almost into Gemini, but Scorpio full moon is only a couple days, you know? So I hope that clears that up a little bit. But you can still use the stuff that comes out of my posts and stuff, from Scorpio season to celebrate Scorpio full moon. It's the same kind of energy, but just know that full moon is kind of capitalizing on the energy, and new moon is really all about setting an intention too. So those are different things. Okay, moving on to the cards. I'm gonna drink some water, talking a lot. Okay, so these cards, everything with Scorpio is like about shadow self. It's about death and transformation. It's about talking about like sexuality, just like really getting in touch with our inner selves, and dealing with deep shit, honestly. Like a lot of stuff comes up with like inner turmoil, addictions, our inner demons, but also like celebrating like our shadow selves, really, and who that is, and our different personalities that we can have, and being sexy, and checking into like what we're hiding maybe, and like being able to show that to the world and what's going on. And a lot of that too means that you got to check yourself. Like there's so much that can come up in Scorpio where it's like the deepest, darkest shit can come up. And these cards are checking me the fuck out. Like they are just like, excuse me, please check yourself. So I feel really personally attacked by these cards. The first two particularly, and I feel like it's a past, present, future reading, not on purpose, but it just feels like that to me. So I don't know if that'll be for you. I don't know if you'll feel personally attacked by these cards, but you know, hopefully they'll at least resonate with you. So the first card that I have is the Five of Swords, but I did draw it reversed. Oh, and I'm using the Wild Unknown Tarot deck by Kim Kranz. You can get that like anywhere. So it's the Five of Swords, but it is upside down, reverse. This is the only one we do in the reverse position. And the Five of Swords usually means that there is some sort of conflict going on, and there's, you know, some sort of disagreement. Maybe you're feeling like you're losing something, and it's something's going sideways, you know. But it also means that within this disagreement that you might not be going about it the best way possible, that you are acting selfishly, and that you are like looking out for number one, but not necessarily in a way of self-love, maybe just like I said, selfishly, not really being compassionate about someone else's concerns or issues, thinking of yourself first and being like, I don't know, just like thinking about how things will work out for you and not for them. And that creates a negative environment. It's hostile. It makes people start to work against each other instead of with each other. And it's like, it just creates turmoil, animosity, hostility, and more conflict. So we want to make sure that we're checking in with our like integrity, our moral compass, our values, and letting go of like any sort of like selfishness that we're doing. Like when there's a conflict, you know, I read this thing, and I don't agree with it in terms of always. I don't think always is a thing for anything, but it was talking about when you're having an argument with your partner and how the argument is you're arguing about the problem. You're not arguing against the other person. And, you know, I think that that is definitely not true for everything, but like in a partnership or with someone that you love, if you're having a disagreement, think about the fact that you're trying to solve an issue instead of attacking the other person. And, you know, looking at it from that perspective. Now, the fact that we drew it reversed means that you might feel like you have been trying to fix this thing over and over and over again, and you feel like you're completely at a loss. You might feel like whoever is on the other end is just like a brick wall and they're not listening. You might feel like the other person is also doing this out of self-interest, and you're both just like butting heads and hitting, you know, you're both brick walls, and it's lose-lose at this point, right? This is definitely a card about conflict in both ways, whether it's reversed or upright. And the good news is that when it's reversed, it does show that this period of conflict and fighting is coming to an end. And it's up to you whether or not you want to forgive and forget and get things back to normal. So I feel aggressively called out by this in my own life. And it's basically just like, do you want to walk away from this conflict, or do you want to have it follow you around? You know, the whole idea of forgiving and forgetting is a little bit contrite. Like I just, you know, I think we need to learn lessons from what's going on. I think forgetting is a little bit, I think it's important to learn lessons and apply them to our lives, and to take stuff that we've learned and be like, I now know that for the future, I am going to take that and use that for my best self, and know that this can apply to me and know better for next time, whatever that means for you. But that doesn't mean that you have to build up a wall and not trust everyone because of one person. It doesn't mean that you can't be open to new things. Last year, when I was going through an extreme trust issue after a breakup, the best affirmation that my friend gave to me was something along the lines of, just because, oh God, I can't remember how she phrased it. It was so beautiful. Just because I am like setting boundaries for myself and looking out for myself doesn't mean that I can't continue to see the beauty in life and others. And it was so powerful to me because I was like really at a place where I had like lost faith in humanity. This person had like really desecrated me, and it was very difficult. I felt numb. I felt like I couldn't move forward, and I was like worried that I was never going to be able to trust anyone ever again. And that has changed. But you know, when we're in a place where we're in a place of conflict, we can either choose to kind of like keep that with us and hold that grudge, however you want to call it, or we can release it. And releasing stuff is a big part of Scorpio energy, and allowing that to be a symbolic death, in terms of transformation and rising from the ashes without that thing. And yeah, Michelle, boundaries, like creating boundaries for yourself is a huge thing. It's been a huge thing for me in the past 6 months. I am leveling up boundaries in every way possible in my life. It's so important. And Scorpio is also about creating serious energetic boundaries. One of the things I literally put on the list is to work on protecting yourself energetically from energy vampires. And a good way to do that is with black tourmaline. So you can carry it on your person, or you can put it in the 4 corners of your home on the ground floor, or the closest you have to the ground, at the entrance, even in like your entrance way. So like creating an energy, like force field of black tourmaline is good for protecting your home, and putting it on your person is good for protecting yourself from other people's energy. So that's a little hot tip for boundaries and energy vampires. Okay, moving on to the second card, which I also feel personally attacked by, the 4 of Cups. Now, you can see how this guy is like sitting on top of the cups and they're like super full, right? So and we drew this, we drew this upright. So the 4 of Cups means that there is a time for reevaluation. There's a time for being introspective and contemplating what's going on. And it also can mean that you are being, again, self-absorbed, concentrating on your own feelings and not someone else's, or like being unaware of someone else, withholding affection, whether that means physical or emotional, and not noticing the like simple pleasures and joys in life. And I noticed that myself yesterday. I without getting too personal, like I was driving to a place that I go frequently, and it was a place that I go very often, but I had been that place one time with Joe, and we were just exploring. We had like that exploration mentality in mind, like when we're just adventuring together. And like that was the day that I found the rainbow fence. I don't know if you remember seeing that picture on Instagram, and I was so excited about this rainbow fence that I like almost like killed us in traffic, and I like shouted rainbow fence, and I like got out of the car and I like took a picture with her. I was so excited. And I realized yesterday that I have been driving past this rainbow fence like once a week for so long, but like when I'm not with him, am not as focused on adventure, or I have a different mindset, or maybe the reason that I'm going to that place is different, or I'm focused on something else, or I've been in such a bad mood and for other reasons that I haven't been allowing myself. Like, how did I not notice that rainbow fence for so long until yesterday, for months, when I've been passing it all the time? And I just realized that like he brings out so much good in me that it's crazy. So yeah, like I have been very guilty of not practicing what I preach, and you know, I still do my gratitude list every day and stuff, but like it's still really hard when you're in a bad, stressful place in life and you feel like certain, you know, like low level, you know, on the pyramid of the hierarchy of needs, when those lower level of things aren't being met, that, you know, it's harder to feel happy and to practice all the things. So always, you know, start from the ground up. And anyway, so being this can come up when you're ignoring like things that are coming to you. And that's scarcity thinking, and we want to practice abundance thinking. It can also be that feeling of apathy. And I was just talking about like feeling close to numb. Like I've only felt numb once, and that was last year, which I was just referencing. And if you're feeling that way, apathetic, disengaged, like you're not, like just stale, like a stale chip, kind of like just not having any motivation, not having any desire to do something. Like it's like I was in bed for 2 straight days this week, and it sucked. And I totally feel you. Like if that's something that you're dealing with, I feel you so hard, and it sucks. And sometimes we need to be in bed. Like it just is the way it is. And sometimes we need to pull ourselves out of bed. So it's up to you and what you think and what you know and what you need, what you know about yourself and your body and your health. And sometimes I just need to go outside for like 5 minutes and I feel a little bit better. Sometimes I need to take a drive. Sometimes I need to stay in bed. And I like Michelle's feeling personally attacked too. Like I just, it's okay to stay in bed. It's not okay to live in bed, right? So we have to like eventually try to pull ourselves out. We have to be willing to want to grow. But if you need 2 days in bed, like you need 2 days in bed, seriously. And but what we don't want to do is stay in a place of apathy and numbness and lack of motivation. And there's other resources that I can give you for that, and I can work with you one-on-one too. But it's one of the worst things, because I think the cure, or the ultimate, oh, sorry, I bumped the microphone. The ultimate counterbalance to apathy is mindfulness, right? So apathy is just being numb and not aware, or not giving a shit about what's going on, because you really just couldn't care. You can't, you don't know. And mindfulness is being so aware and so in your body and so present and so giving a fuck. And so like practicing mindfulness, and we're still in Taurus season, that's all about mindfulness, like doing that. And mindfulness is good all year long, honestly. I'm just saying Taurus season is like, but like really just being aware of what's happening and just being grounded, doing meditations, focusing on your 5 senses, like eating a piece of fruit slowly, like seriously, just try. I have a free e-course on mindfulness. Try it. I feel like it's the counterbalance to apathy. And the good thing about this is that it's also a time, again, to be introspective, and that's part of mindfulness. So like contemplating what's going on, and like keeping a dream book and looking up what your dreams might mean, and pausing and taking it slow and thinking about what's going on and reflecting and losing our connection to what's going on the outside and looking at what's going on inside. And I think that that's really all that we can do. Like sometimes this card means that you're needing to withdraw, and that's a big thing for Scorpios, and Scorpio season and Scorpio full moon. So like it might mean that you need to be alone right now. It might mean that your self-care practice needs alone time, like way more than usual. Scorpio season, Scorpio energy like dislikes crowds a lot. So like practicing alone time and letting people know when you're ready to come back out is totally legit. So yeah. Okay. So I'm going to move on to the last card, which I think is a really good omen. And it says the Son of Cups, but it's, the Knight of Cups. So we have 2 cups, a lot of emotions. So the Knight of Cups is really good. This is a very romantic card, which is very Taurus season. It's also a very creative, which is, I think, both Taurus and Scorpio. It's about imagination. It's about beauty. It's about being sensitive. And again, introspection. So we want to find a balance between like idealizing love and being romantic. So like sometimes the Knight of Cups can be a little like aggressively romantic, which I think is like such an interesting, huge jump from these other two cards. But that's why I think that it's a past, present, future reading. Like this is what we're working towards, is like, and I don't think that it necessarily means a partner, a lover kind of love. I mean, it can. Scorpio is all about sexuality, sensuality, but it can be about like just romanticizing life and getting back that joy that we were having, or that we were missing, about like certain things that are really great about living life, those simple pleasures. We can romance life and ourselves. And it is the classic romantic card of the deck, but it also means, again, to be in touch with your feelings and being compassionate towards other people. So we have gone from the Five of Swords, where we are being super uncompassionate and selfish, to being super compassionate towards others. So that's why I think it's this progression that we're working towards, that we're actually dealing with our shit. We're being introspective. The Five of Swords is being like, we are not dealing with our shit. We are being selfish. We are not giving a shit about other people. We need to check ourselves. And the Four of Cups is like, yeah, let's work on this right now. Like, I think that we can get back to where we need to be, and we need to take some time and introspect and practice mindfulness and, look inward. And then the Knight of Cups is just like, yeah, okay, we have done this. We have done the work. Look where we have gone. Look where we have come to. And we have got all the way to this place of believing in people again, altruism, and seeing compassion in ourselves and other people, and having it, and seeing beauty and in the world and ourselves and other people, and being aware of our feelings and being in touch with them, and just like literally looking at life and the world as living art and poetry. And I don't know, I think that it's a really good future card that we're working towards. And again, introspective. This card is a little bit introverted, but in a really good way, that we are examining things, like in terms of like questioning the motivation behind things and looking to improve ourselves in a good way while still practicing self-acceptance, and understanding what's going on and why, and always questioning our why and our why, but in a good way of like, why am I doing this? Why am I passionate about something? And looking for bigger and better things, I think. So that is what is happening and what is coming from the cards that I drew for you today, right before Scorpio full moon. And yeah, I hope that you got something out of that. And I'm going to leave a couple links. I'll try to remember everything that we talked about. And yeah, let me know if any of that feels right to you. I hope that you have a great weekend. Again, if you want a new moon or a full moon reading, it's got to be today. So let me know. But I hope to see you at Karma Fest if you are local. And if you're not, I wish you could be there. And have a great weekend. Let me know anything else that you need. And if you are in the group, just post your gratitude. I'd love to see what you're grateful for this week as we hop into the weekend. Okay. You are so welcome. All right. Have a great, great weekend. Love you. Bye.